steeped in tradition. It's called Too Tough to Tame. It's Darlington International Raceway, the oldest super speedway on the NASCAR Tour. Hud Strickland, Larry Pearson, Michael Waltrip are but a few of the drivers who cut their teeth in the Goody's NASCAR Dash Series. Hello everyone, I'm Bill Hennessy, and yes, this is Darlington International Raceway in the background. But a lot of the activities in the beginnings of stock car racing is on the bull rings, and there's an exciting one very close by.
Just over the horizon is one of those bull rings, the 0.4 of a mile Florence Motor Speedway. It's the site of tonight's Husqvarna 100, where you'll see drivers whose hopes and dreams are to be here at Darlington. When we come back, we'll see who can take this tight shootout.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Florence Motor Speedway for tonight's Husqvarna 100. In the pits with us, covering the action tonight, two-time national champion Mike Swaim is with the front row starters.
Here with me tonight is Danny Bagwell, starting on the outside pole.
Thanks, Mike. TCI Prime Star Ford had a great qualifying run tonight. It seems like we have a better chance of winning a race from the outside than the inside, so I'm real happy to start on the outside. And you know, Will's got his son Jake starting in the field tonight, and you know we kind of hope he's doing a little bit of thinking about him than trying to race us. So, you know, I believe we'll have a good race. You know, if we can get a good start off the line, then that'll be fine. If not, we'll take what we can get.
That's great, Danny. We wish you a lot of luck in the TCI Ford tonight. And we got Will Hobgood. He's got his son starting in the back of the field tonight. What do you think?
Well, you know, I don't know. We got this Winsall Jewelry Warehouse Precision Engine Pontiac up front right now, and our main concern is keeping it up front. But, yeah, we are thinking about my son. This is his first race, and we hope he's going to fare well in it.
That's great. Here we have the front row and the Husqvarna 100.
Well, Mike Swaim's in something of a new role, being the seasoned NASCAR Dash Series veteran that he is. Well, he's a rookie on our broadcast tonight, Lenny Buticki. Talking about rookies, two drivers failed to make the show here at Florence Motor Speedway. Jim Safford from Wilmington, North Carolina, and the Florida driver, James Trout, did not make the show based on time. Starting in the 14th row, though, is Joe Farabee in the sewing machine sales and service Ford. He's flanked on the inside by
Kansas's Doug Thompson is on his inside, the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame probe.
Taking a look at row 13, second time in a NASCAR Dash Series car, the son of the pole sitter in the Wins Lubricant Pontiac is Jake Hobgood. He's flanked on the inside by a rookie driver, Davis Myers, of Batesburg, South Carolina, in the Woods Auto Body Shop Chevrolet.
Row number 12 on the outside, Carl Jennings from Hartsville, South Carolina, the Jennings Pro Lube Pride of Hartsville Chevrolet. On his inside from Seminole, Florida, is Dwayne Haynes Jr. in the C.D. Roma's Restaurant, Whole Shot Engineering Chevrolet.
22nd on the grid, 14-year veteran of the series, Gary Moore, Horseshoe, North Carolina, Lucas Oil Products, Torbett Trucking Chevrolet. On the inside of him is another rookie driver, Shane Jenkins, Statesboro, Georgia, the Sunset Carson Homes of Merit Chevrolet.
Row number 10 is where the Rookie of the Year battle is. On the outside, Ronnie Goodwin from Laurel Hill, North Carolina, the Goodwin Cylinder Head Service Chevrolet. And on the inside, the Rookie of the Year point leader from Fort Lawn, South Carolina, Darrell Murray in the Lancaster Speedway Baker Electric Ford.
18th on the grid is Bill Wilson, Fuquay Varina, North Carolina, Talton's Metal Products Ford. On the inside of him, the White House Apple Juice Pontiac of Johnny Smith.
Starting 16th will be Scott Weaver from Shelby, North Carolina, the Weaver Racing Chevrolet. To his inside, Tom Ussery from Broadway, North Carolina, the Talton's Metal Products Ford.
The 7th row is Jimmy Foster from Ormond Beach, Florida, the Pepsi-Cola Safety Clean Pontiac. This is his very first start in the Dash Series. A fellow Floridian starts 13th. That's Dan Partis, Daytona Beach, Florida, the Coldwell Banker McDougal Auto Sales Pontiac.
Row number 6 on the outside, B.J. Mackey from Rock Hill, South Carolina, the ProCal Decals Beaver Chiropractic Center Chevrolet. Inside of row number 6, Johnny Chapman from Stony Point, North Carolina, the North 40 Nursery Chevrolet.
5th row, London Amick, Batesburg, South Carolina, the Amick Farms Pontiac, still looking for his first win. On the inside is Destry Gardner from Asheboro, North Carolina, the Reynolds Construction Pontiac.
Filling out row number 4, Robert Huffman from Claremont, North Carolina, the Hooked on Harry Seafood Pontiac. He led all 100 laps of this event the first time around here at Florence Motor Speedway. Inside row number 4 will be Mickey York from Asheboro, North Carolina, the Cobra Electronics Pontiac.
Row number 3, Mike Swaim Jr., High Point, North Carolina, Management Resources Systems Pontiac on the outside. On the inside, the current points leader in the series, Larry Caudle, the Husqvarna Dodge.
Row number 2, the 4-time series winner, David Hutto from Rock Hill, South Carolina, the Shell Fire and Ice Pontiac. Along with him will be Enon, Ohio's Dave Stacy and the Sickens Hobart Welding Ford.
On the front row, from Birmingham, Alabama, the TCI Prime Star Ford is Danny Bagwell. On the inside is Will Hobgood from Winsboro, South Carolina, in the Winds Oil Pontiac Sunfire. These two cars in the front row are running in reverse of what they did when they qualified at Nashville, Tennessee. It should be quite a shootout among these two competitors in the early going. A great field of cars on hand tonight here at Florence Motor Speedway, owned by Charlie Powell. 100 laps, the distance being sponsored by Husqvarna.
Well, I've got to wonder how our pole sitter is doing sitting inside the car, if some of his thoughts aren't drifting back towards row number 13, where his son Jake Hobgood is sitting ready to wrestle with his car around this tough bull ring oval. Will Hobgood in the number 65 wins car. The lights are off on the pace car. He's got to get himself focused for what he has to do.
This is a 0.4 of a mile facility paved without a guardrail, a rather unusual layout. In-car camera with Larry Caudle in the Husqvarna Dodge. He'll be carrying in-car camera, and he starts from the number 5 position. Our other in-car camera this evening being carried by Lyndon Amick. He starts 10th. He's right behind the winner in the spring race, Robert Huffman. So 2 good in-car cameras this evening here at Florence Motor Speedway in this 100-lap chase around this 0.4 of a mile asphalt oval. Almost time for the green flag.
Getting ready to come out of corner number 4. The field streams down in front of a well-packed house here this evening. And look at the car stream into corner number 1. Hobgood's got the point.
Hobgood leads him off the second quarter. Bagwell on the high side of the racetrack. There's Dave Stacy drifting back a bit. Hutto on the charge, trying to move up into 3rd place. Bagwell wants to get to the bottom of the racetrack here and make a move early to take the lead. He told us, I usually run really strong when I start on the outside front row, and that's where he started here this evening. He's had some problems on the pole earlier this year. Those problems continue. Hutto's into the back of Bagwell, and Bagwell gets tagged, tried to gather the car back up, and goes around going into turn 3. A couple of replays here. Let's take a look and see what it looked like again from the same angle. He gets tagged in the left rear quarter panel, and Hutto stays right on him, shoves him twice down the back straightaway. He's all elbows as he shifts the steering wheel left, then right, then left again, and the car gets out from under him. That's a costly error here in the early going for the driver from Birmingham, Alabama. He's going from outside front row to the back of the grid. In-car camera now. This one on Lyndon Amick's car. Whoa. Lyndon almost got tagged. Now in-car camera with Larry Caudle. Caudle on the inside of the racetrack. Keep your eyes up in front there. And we see him all over the racetrack. Caudle starts slowing down, turns to the high side, and barely misses him as Lyndon Amick goes by on the outside.
This sure can be a treacherous track. We had an opportunity to ask Gary more about it.
Well, to me, it's not really changed anything. We came down here in the spring race. The track was real loose coming out of the corners. It's still about the same way this time. So actually, the track is basically, to me, the same track it was in the spring. It's just a slick racetrack coming out, and everybody's going to have to be careful in that.
This racetrack still has the same surface that was laid down back in 1989 when it was first paved. Getting ready for a restart here. We see Dave Stacy right up on the rear deck lid. Lap 5 of Will Hobgood as they come back to the stripe. Hobgood takes the green flag from Jimmy Howell and gives him chase down to the first quarter. Beautiful shot as the cars stream into turn 1 here at Florence Motor Speedway.
Will really got a good jump on that restart, and he has pulled away from Stacy. But Stacy wasn't so lucky. He's got Hutto right on the rear deck lid.
Mike Swaim Jr. having a good ride in 4th place here this evening. Larry Caudle in the Husqvarna Dodge rides in 5th place.
The Bristol winner hasn't had that bad of a season overall, has had some bright points other than his win in Tennessee. He has been a strong runner.
been rather impressed with his performance so far this year. A really heads-up driver, driving car number 28 that his dad owns. Now look at Lyndon Amick. He's got quite a battle going on with Larry Caudle for 5th place. Going in-car camera, this is Larry Caudle's mount. To the outside of him is Lyndon Amick as they head down the back straightaway. In case you're wondering what's flopping around, that's the elastic off of a pair of extra goggles that Caudle is carrying in the car with him. They're hung around the rearview mirror. Lyndon Amick goes by here on the front straightaway and goes to 5th place on lap 7.
Well, Amick's really charging this evening after the disappointment during the last event. He's trying to bounce his way back from 4th back up into the top 3 in the series point standings. Good look at Larry Caudle, and now we jump further up the field, and Dave Stacy trying to hold off David Hutto.
David Hutto, 4 wins on the season, would like to pick up win number 5 here this evening as he gives chase to the Pontiac, the Ford Probe of Stacy. They go down the back straightaway. The Ford Probe, number 6 car, a Pontiac Sunfire, car number 97.
Dave Stacy's got a little help this evening from the folks at Sickens Paints, a new associate to the Hobart Welding, number 6 for the Ohio runner, and it seems to be being put to good use.
Will Hobgood, who's about 5 or 6 car lengths in front of this duo, running for 2nd and 3rd, really has an excellent line around this racetrack. It's 10 laps have now gone in the books. Wayne Jr. giving chase to this lead trio of cars headed for turn 1.
Now the front foursome spread out by at least a car length between each of them, but this is the closest of those 4 cars. Dave Stacy's Probe looks like it's starting to do better and better as the tires warm up. We'll look at Johnny Chapman working to the outside of Destry Gardner. And he's got B.J. Mackey trying to find an inside or an outside move to get around either one of those.
Well, Destry had a good qualifying run this evening. Johnny Chapman, a former champion in this series, is driving the Weaver and Reeves number 3. This is kind of like what he's doing on the weekends now. He had made a foray into Busch Grand National competition without a lot of success this season. Weaver and Reeves decided to put him in their car to see how well he could do back in the Dash Series. He's doing quite well right now in front of B.J. Mackey. Once again, that battle for 2nd and 3rd between Dave Stacy, the Enid, Ohio driver. Long toe down here every weekend to race on the bull rings of the South.
Well, Stacy's got the long toe, as does Doug Thompson from Kansas. And a lot of drivers interested in this series are willing to make the trip in the effort to come down and race the NASCAR Dash Series.
Good racing all the way around this facility. Goody's NASCAR Dash Series racing. Out of turn 4, Will Hobgood leads this trio of drivers, and he's overtaking Joe Furby now as they go through the 2nd quarter. Furby in the little Ford Mustang being overtaken. Further back, we see a good battle for Robert Huffman and also Mickey York there. Fellow Asheboro driver Destry Gardner now feeling the heat of the driver from out of Daytona Beach, Florida, Dan Pardis. Pardis in the 42 car, Gardner in the 4, and right behind him is a young man who's having a good run so far, and that's Jimmy Foster out of Daytona Beach, Florida. In-car camera with Lyndon Amick as Larry Caudle has managed to get back in front of him now as they battle down the back straightaway. A battle for 2nd place. Hutto making his move to the inside of Stacy. Side by side, wheel to wheel, off the 2nd quarter down the back straightaway. Stacy wants a win, and he wants it badly. At the same time, Hutto, seasoned veteran at picking up trophies this year and kissing the Beauty Queen, has 4 victories to his credit, and he is flat giving a run on the inside of the racetrack. That car seems to handle so well down there, being set up and prepared by Richard Mash these days, who also builds the engines. What a race we have between these 2 drivers.
The Ohio driver, Dave Stacy, is not about to let this one go easy, but he's got company in front of him going to hold him up. That's the Talton's metal car slowing on the inside, and Stacy's going to have to go to the outside. There's close contact between the 2, but Stacy is able to avoid it and keep Hutto in his rearview mirror.
2nd and 3rd place drivers putting Bill Wilson in one of 2 identically painted cars. Another lap down here in the early going. Good view down the front straightaways. The cars head for the 1st quarter. In-car camera now with Larry Caudle. Caudle riding behind the Cobra Electronics entry of Mickey York. Right in front of him is Robert Huffman. In front of them, there is Lyndon Amick. As Amick goes into the 3rd quarter now, works out of the 4th quarter. Now he's coming up on the Tom Usry car.
Amick a little loose as he came out of corner number 4. He's got to be concerned with that, as Robert Huffman really knows how to get around here. And there's the 05, the Kansas Jayhawk Doug Thompson He made that long pull here to compete tonight and is doing just that as Dave Stacy, David Hutto, and Mike Swain go to his...
Whoa, a spin over in the second quarter. 3 cars involved. There goes Shane Jenkins trying to drive away. Jake Hobgood caught up in it. Gary Moore spun around in that same incident to bring out the yellow flag here. Now, Doug Thompson, who was just passed by the leaders, trying to get his lap back as he races back towards the flag and now smartly slows down. Another driver having problems involved in that same crash, Johnny Jew Smith in the White House Apple Juice entry, manages to get his car back to the pit area as Jimmy Howell waves the yellow flag.
One of the unique things about Florence Motor Speedway is a certain benefit to this incident. There's no walls around 3/4 of the racetrack, and the cars are able to duck down into a little bit of dirt. It's not kind out there by any means, but it's certainly a lot gentler on the car than those cement walls.
Well, Will Hobgood, and driving by the 27 car, his thoughts have to be, gee, I've got some work Monday cut out for me with all the damage on Jake Hobgood's car. Shane Jenkins stays on the racetrack. Jake Hobgood is now out of his car. Jenkins with a big shower of sparks. And I know that Sunset Carson up in the spotter stand is telling his driver, come on, bring that thing around and park it in the pits. We need some work here on the 77 car. But Shane Jenkins in his rookie year has crashed here at Florence Motor Speedway. Another car looked like it was having some trouble. Young Jimmy Foster. Foster's car is running very slowly on his way to the pits. We had the opportunity to talk with him earlier this afternoon about what he has planned here in the 1995 racing season since leaving the Legends cars and trying this series.
We're going to try to run 4 races. We're going to try to run here, North Wilkesboro, Volusia County Speedway, and Homestead, and try to run for Rookie of the Year next year.
Well, good. We wish you a lot of luck.
All right, thank you.
Rear end obviously is going out on the car driven by Jimmy Foster. We'll be back with more in a moment. Once again, we're back at Florence Motor Speedway for the Husqvarna 100. Bill Hennessy along with Lenny Baticki set to restart the cars here on lap 29. Will Hobgood, your leader. Dave Stacy rides in second place. Third is David Hutto. On the inside, you see Carl Jennings along with Davis Myers. The cars come up to speed now. Green flag out. Whoa, we got problems here on the front straightaway. Cars crashing into each other. Lots of damage. A little wider shot. Looks like we've collected up at least 6 or 7 cars.
It almost looks like the front straightaway is blocked off. I saw some sheet metal on Amick's car. You could see Bagwell involved. Looks like
Dan Partis.
Yeah, there's
Scott
Cottle.
Weaver involved. Mike Swain Jr. The 2 Talton metal cars of Ellis Reagan involved. Ronnie Goodwin and Weaver driving away now.
Dwayne Haynes up against the wall. And
Joe Furby a little further back. And now there goes Danny Bagwell driving away.
I believe that's Daryl Murray right inside up against the fence. So this has really collected a number of quality vehicles this evening.
Gary Moore drives away. 14 cars involved, according to our spotters here, involved in this restart on the front straightaway. We're going to have a couple of replays coming up in just a moment to see exactly what happened and how this got started. 14 cars of the 28 starters involved. The red flag has been displayed to the field. Racing has stopped momentarily. Larry Cottle trying to get his car straightened out and around. There goes Daryl Murray, Furby by. On the replay here from another angle up top, we see Mike Swain Jr. into the side of the Dwayne Haynes car. Looked like he got nailed from behind. Everybody else comes into the melee there and goes spinning around. Partis gets hit in the driver's side door by Danny Bagwell.
Bill, the restart is one of the scariest moments you see so many times.
In-car camera here. This one being Lyndon Amick's. Amick starting right behind Mike Swain Jr. Let's see what happens here. Whoa! He ran right into the back of Swain Jr. buckling up the hood. He can barely see where he's going, but he's able to drive through. They say the problem started when Dave Stacy failed to come up to speed. Perhaps he missed a gear or something happened on the car, but it stalled, and in doing so, Swain slowed down. Lyndon Amick pulverized into the back of him, and everyone started taking evasive action. In-car camera on Larry Cottle. He sees what's taking place in front of him. He tried to slow down, got nailed in the rear, and turned around. And we see everybody trying to stop there's Ronnie Goodwin right in front of him. The whole front straightaway blocked. what angles we saw on the way this accident evolved on the restart. Red flag here at Florence Motor Speedway. Once again, let's take a look here from a camera at the end of the straightaway. Look at Dwayne Haynes. Jumps over the left rear quarter panel on Mike Swaim Jr. Parts flying through the air. The buckled hood on the Lyndon Amick car. Destry Gardner got caught there. Caudle goes around. Davis Myers into the outside retaining wall. Major crash here on the front straightaway on the restart at lap 30, bringing out a red flag. No work on the pits while they are waiting for the cars to be brought back to the pit area. We only have 12 cars parked up in turn 4 right now. One driver reported injured to his arm. That is Tom Ussery. Ussery sitting in the pits waiting for the EMS personnel to come and attend to him. Meanwhile, Lyndon Amick is down the pit lane. While we have a break in the action, we will return with more of the Husqvarna 100 in just a few moments. Welcome back to Florence Motor Speedway for the Husqvarna 100 for the Goody's NASCAR Dash Series cars. A major crash red flagged this race. Several drivers in the pits have received work on their cars. One of the drivers involved in the crash had this opportunity to talk with Mike Swaim.
Lyndon, that was a heck of a wreck, the biggest wreck I've seen on a short track in a while. What did it look like from your viewpoint?
Well, it looked like everybody just stopped there in front of me. We were coming up the speed and like somebody didn't take off, so everybody kind of piled up there. You know, I was on the brakes and I got pushed into somebody else. You know, one of those racing accidents, I guess.
An unfortunate situation for Lyndon Amick, both in the points race and a chance to win his first one here at Florence Motor Speedway. What really happened on that restart? We now have the opportunity to talk to Dave Stacy.
Well, we were running second, and our Hobart Ford was really running good, and we come up through the gears, and it totally died. It stacked everybody up behind us, made one hell of a mess. I really feel bad for those guys. The crew just informed me that it broke a fuel pump belt. You know, it's really unfortunate for our Hobart Ford today.
Well, there's a man that told you exactly what took place on the restart, why he failed to come up to speed, and what's caused the crash that could be very costly for a driver who is leading the points battle at the present time, Larry Caudle. He happens to be with Mike Swaim.
Larry, I know this is probably a tough thing to happen right here in the points chase. What happened up in front of you tonight?
I just saw your son down there. Somebody turned him crossways, and I was waving to the guys behind us, and just, you know, a chain reaction. They just started hitting and banging, and wasn't anything any of us could do. We just didn't have enough width in the racetrack. We've broken a spindle and a hub here, looks like, and trying to get it repaired. Maybe we can get back in and run some laps and pick up a few.
Does it look like you can repair it, get back, get some laps?
I think so, yeah.
Jimmy Forrest, along with Roddy Lewis and the rest of the gang, working hard on the David Watson entry. Car number 21, a different number tonight for Larry Caudle, who leads the current points by a little over 150 between first and fifth place. And the fifth place man is Will Hobgood, who takes up the lead here on the restart. Lyndon Amick in car tags the back of Darrell Murray, the rookie driver. We're seeing just how aggressive Lyndon is here, trying to get back to the front.
Well, Lyndon, somebody's got to notify him that we're not at Bowman Gray Stadium anymore. He needs to put the football mentality behind him, but that young man's blood's got to be boiling after his second setback in as many events. You can't blame him for being a little bit more aggressive.
Will Hobgood, the leader. Riding in second place is David Hutto. Tonight, the 21 number on the side of Larry Caudle's car, not the typical number 12 that he's accustomed to running. They crashed their car up at North Wilkesboro this past week in practice, so thus he's going to a backup. In-car camera again with Lyndon Amick to see how tight the racing is. And just how tight is it? Well, you can find out with your own computer video game from Papyrus. Stay tuned to this program. We'll give you an address and a trivia question for you to answer for an opportunity to win one of these great computer games, either the CD-ROM version or computer disc version.
Into corner number 3 here at the Speedway, having just about as much fun as you could have on one of those Papyrus computer video games. Mickey York and Robert Huffman going at it. And by the way, Bill, you better check the stack of those Papyrus video games. Your son Chris has already gotten into them. He's test driving them for whoever does eventually win them.
In-car camera once again with Lyndon Amick. You see just how close the competition is here in the NASCAR Dash Series as he follows B.J. Mackey in the 11. He's right up on his heels, but he's running without a front bumper. He could get a little too close. Hutto still gives chase to Will Hobgood. the man who has led since the green flag. Hutto in a position to challenge Will Hobgood at any juncture of the race.
Will Hobgood in front, trying to hold off the now 4-time series winner at David Hutto, who has won himself 4 events in 1995. Will he be able to pick off the defending series champion Hobgood to make it 5? I don't know. Hobgood's running strong right now. B.J. Mackey, his resurgence into Dash Series racing as he comes up on side of Ronnie Goodwin through corner number 3. Close quarters racing, and there's Amick.
Yeah, look at Amick. Amick manhandles the car. He's big enough to do it. Throws a little dash car right into the corner, turns that steering wheel, but look at B.J. Mackey work to the inside of Ronnie Goodwin. And watch how aggressive Lyndon Amick will be into the corner. He glances right off the side of Ronnie Goodwin's car. He doesn't want to give up an inch of racetrack.
Crowd here at Florence Motor Speedway on their feet as they watch this battle circulating around the 0.4 of a mile oval. 40 miles this event in length, and right now they're going hard at it just like if it was a 500-miler at Daytona or Darlington.
We fall in the shadow of the famed Darlington Raceway here at Florence Motor Speedway. This is where drivers have to cut their teeth and learn the trade in order to advance to a super speedway. And these cars run 2 super speedways this year. Homestead, Florida will close out the season in November. In-car camera with Lyndon Amick as he tries to go to the inside of B.J. Mackey. Onto the front straightaway. He draws ahead of Mackey. Mackey draws abreast of him going into turn 1.
Well, you talk about a bull ring. That's what we've got here. And the big bull right now is Lyndon Amick as he is kicking his heels and showing his horns all the way around this racetrack, going past B.J. Mackey. Will Hobgood in front, trying to be the cowboy. The change.
Second quarter, 2 cars going around. One of those being Dan Partis, the Daytona Beach, Florida, and the other one being
Doug Thompson, the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame car, is also involved in this incident.
Yellow flag waving here at Florence Motor Speedway. Front tire down on the left front of the Doug Thompson 05 car as he tries to make his way back around to the pits. A lot of exciting action here at Florence Motor Speedway this evening. This has been one race that has been filled with exciting action since the drop of the green flag.
Hart is showing some sheet metal damage from an earlier incident. He's lost his hood. When we come back from this one, we'll kind of bring it into perspective and bring these cars up to full speed with another green flag run from Florence Motor Speedway.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Florence Motor Speedway. Lenny Baticki along with Bill Hennessy here. We're almost halfway, lap 49 on the restart. Will Hobgood, your leader. David Hutto riding in second place. Carl Jennings along with Davis Myers on the double file restart with Mickey York riding in third place. The green is out, and here we go, racing once again.
Down into corner number 1, Will Hobgood continues at the point. He's leading a lot of laps tonight. That's going to help him in the laps led total. But now David Hutto, the man that leads that category, is starting to show his muscle in the number 97.
A little further back, we see Johnny Chapman and Lyndon Amick. Lyndon is trying to move back into the top 5, right behind Chapman. What a great view, in-car camera view as he goes to the high side of Chapman, but Chapman will shut the door on him as they head down the back straightaway.
Lyndon Amick is showing us from his in-car camera shot what the term full contact stock car racing means here this evening in Florence. As they come out of corner number 4, Amick zeroing in on Chapman's rear bumper, with Bagwell still going down on the inside of the racetrack. He had himself a strong mount early, but after he got collected, the car just hasn't been the same.
Well, Bagwell started on the outside of the front rows trying to get back towards the front. We've shown the halfway flags to the entire field a lap ago, and Will Hobgood continues to lead the way. Mickey York having one of his better runs of the season. Normally by now, Mickey is sidelined or has major problems, but he's still hanging in there. Tonight just might be his night.
Now for the gray fox from Asheboro, that's good to see. Ronnie Goodwin out of Laurel Hill, North Carolina, the former Lakeview Speedway dirt track ace, doing himself pretty well here this evening in Florence. He's holding off Scott Weaver. Carl Jennings, one of the drivers on the inside in the tan on blue machine, a few laps down at this point.
And there's Daryl Murray on the high side of him. Stacy back in the fray here as he runs up on the back of Carl Jennings. Now goes high to the outside. The 4 car, Desiree Gardner out of Asheboro, North Carolina. Ronnie Goodwin and Scott Weaver going at each other. Weaver picks up the position as Goodwin loses a position, but he's right in front of his main adversary, and that's Daryl Murray for Rookie of the Year honors. Once again, here goes Huffman And York back at it, and Chapman has now joined in that fray. Good, clean competition around the racetrack. Look at Lyndon Amick right on the heels of Johnny Chapman in car 3, the Silver Machine.
Honest, Mickey, if you're watching, we didn't mean to jinx you when you see this on the video replay. We started talking about him, and he started backing up. Oh, what a tough night. Chapman's car, as we look on the inside from Amick's view, he tries to go.
Oh, he's into the side of Chapman there. Almost turned him around, had to back out of the throttle. Once again, you can experience all the thrills of Papyrus's NASCAR racing game. Find out how you can win one of them for your CD-ROM or floppy disk computer.
You know, I had an opportunity to play that game, and I swear it's so real. I was looking to see if Lyndon Amick was behind me. That's how close it was. And look at close here as Will Hobgood leads David Hutto. This one is starting to really become a tussle between these two.
I believe Hutto was a bit conservative here so far. Hutto more or less hanging on and taking a look to see how Hobgood's getting around the racetrack. Almost like he's saving his tires for a late run, even though he's right on the heels of the Pontiac Sunfire, sponsored by Web's Oil.
Scott Weaver looking to the inside of Mickey York, and Weaver starting to show his ability this evening as he's picked off one spot and two, and now going after yet another one. The lap car of Danny Bagwell right in front of these two, going after it for position.
It's almost into the side of Bagwell, gets blocked by Doug Thompson. Now watch how aggressive Weaver will be. Scrubs across the rear bumper. Thompson tries to get into the corner beneath Stacy, and then Weaver finally just turns him around right over in turn 4. So Doug Thompson goes round and round.
Doug Thompson's second incident of the evening in just about the same part of the racetrack.
Well, the yellow waving here at Florence Motor Speedway. On the replay, watch Weaver now. Right into the rear bumper, gives him a shove down the back straightaway all the way into the corner. Hard enough that he passes Bagwell momentarily, and then the rear end skates, and then Weaver is right back on him, blowing that chrome horn. He almost takes Mickey York out, though, as he goes around Doug Thompson.
Dave Stacy also nearly involved in this incident. As we get ready for the restart, Jennings once again on the inside, but Will Hobgood, the man of the moment, as he sees the green from Jimmy Howell and streaks down into corner number 1. After the pressure that David Hutto's been applying in the last few laps, Will Hobgood knows to really crack the whip.
A lot of the drivers have worked hard on their cars during the period of time after the red flag and have returned to the competition. A number of them are a bunch of laps down. Larry Caudle has tried to make it back out, hopefully to try to salvage a few of those championship points. But we have seen a very heated contest here this evening. Johnny Chapman and Amick still going at it. Amick, a man on a mission in the 33 Amick Farms car.
These cars are dented and twisted in a lot of different places that normally they just don't have problems with. But tonight, everybody is feeling the pressure and the optimism as the season begins to wind down. Everybody wants to pick off one additional spot.
Hutto challenges Will Hobgood into 3. Can't quite get to the bottom of the racetrack in order to root himself out of position. Hobgood has run a classic line around this racetrack and has run a perfect race since the original green flag.
While those two continue to battle on the racetrack, one driver who has been concerned with the battle not only on it but off it is the driver of the number 33 car. After tough luck in Nashville, Lyndon Amick has certainly had to reshift his focus towards the end of the NASCAR Dash season.
Well, we're not worried about points. We took a different attitude. We're going to try to win some races instead of trying to go for the points. So, I think that'll be a better approach, and maybe it'll help us out in the points at the end.
Well, this young driver certainly has his foot down against the firewall, minus a lot of body parts on the 33 tonight. But there's another young driver right behind him, B.J. Mackey, trying to catch him. Back up front, first and second, has been this type of race all evening long as they go by Shane Jenkins. Will Hobgood and David Hutto have been putting on quite a show. And now coming up to 3rd place, and looks like he may be headed towards the victory, even though his car is heavily damaged, is Lyndon Amick.
Amick is definitely the fastest car on the racetrack right now, barring even the leader, Will Hobgood. But we saw back at the early part of the season, Robert Huffman lead all 100 laps on his way to victory. Will Hobgood is threatening to do the same here tonight.
This track has a well-worn surface on it. was indicated by Gary Moore in an earlier interview where he said the track is well worn and quite slick. Will Hobgood, the leader's son, Jake, is involved in the race this evening. Involved in spin earlier in the going, is looking forward to racing some more in the Dash Series. Will you be racing next year, Jake Hobgood?
We plan to, you know, that's true with anybody. If the funds hold up, we plan to do it. We'd like to, we'd really like to. We think we can get comfortable and have a good season if we can run for it.
Well, his daddy certainly is a talented driver there, as he is leading David Hutto at Florence Motor Speedway here in the Husqvarna 100 into the third quarter now. Hobgood dives down at the bottom of the racetrack. Right behind him is Hutto.
Will Hobgood running a great line this evening. I'd say he is going to be tough to beat towards the end of this race, as he has been all throughout it, no matter whether David Hutto's saving his tires or not. Will Hobgood's driving a pretty wheel.
Classic line through the quarters, slides a little bit though, opens up the door at the bottom of the racetrack, and Hutto is there to challenge him, but he has a strong motor and that Clyde Norwood built engine. Brings him right off the quarter and stays in front of Hutto for another lap.
First kink in Hobgood's armor that we can really see, and David Hutto isn't going to wait around for it too.
Whoa! He run up on some slow traffic, Davis Myers, and that thwarts the advance of Hutto, and he loses a lot of ground. And there's Lyndon Amick nipping at his heels now. And at the bottom of the racetrack, here comes B.J. Mackey.
Boy, Lyndon Amick.
3 young drivers, all of them 18 years old.
This is just like the bell ringing at the high school. Everybody wanting to get out in a hurry, and these 3 are doing just that. But the old principals up front of him, Will Hobgood.
Will Hobgood overtaking the Doug Thompson car. Has a 5-car length advantage this go-around over David Hutto as he heads for the third quarter here, putting another lap in the book. At the bottom of the racetrack as we work lap 74.
Will Hobgood, after that brief incident with David Hutto, has regained a pretty good little advantage here, but now some more of the lap cars come into view. This one's still going to be a nail-biter.
Slows down just a little bit off the second quarter. Hutto gathers up about a car length, but look at the young trio of drivers right there together as they work beneath the scoreboard. And Hobgood's getting loose here. His tires obviously somewhat worn as he goes beneath Shane Jenkins, and now Hutto closes back up to within a car length.
David Hutto is chomping at the bit to get around Will Hobgood. He had his chance, and Davis Myers' slower car cost him there. He doesn't want to make that mistake as he'll try to get around number 37 car as they come out.
That's Joe Furby. So head back down to the first quarter here. Good clean shot of our speed camera going into the first quarter. Down the back straightaway, Will Hobgood and the Pontiac Sunfire leads another Sunfire. The Sunfires have been the dominant car so far this season. 80 laps on the scoreboard now.
Will Hobgood streaking past start-finish line. He still looks real strong. And David Hutto trying to find a way, and B.J. Mackey and Lyndon Amick are side by side.
Lyndon Amick and B.J. Mackey having their own battle now. Hutto continue. Whoa! Spinning around is Hobgood. Hobgood obviously slid in some oil or something as 3 cars are parked sideways in front of him in turn 4. The cars are Bill Wilson, Dan Partis, and Larry Caudle, who'd rejoined the race, and now Hobgood pulls up on the edge of the racetrack and cannot advance. His tires are spinning. His exhaust system's got him caught there. In-car camera with Caudle. Caudle goes into the corner and goes spinning around. Looking back down the track, here comes Hobgood in, goes spinning around, everybody else goes through. More cars taking evasive action, including Scott Weaver, who spins off the racetrack. Hobgood is caught on the berm of the racetrack, right at the edge. His rear tires are spinning. He's lost several laps now. This is going to be costly. We'll be back with more here at Florence Motor Speedway and the Husqvarna 100. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Florence Motor Speedway. Bill Hennessy along with Lenny Maticki and Mike Swain covering the action for you here this evening. Unfortunately, Will Hobgood is not in second place at the present time. He is a lap down after being hung on the berm following a spin in turn 4. Further back in the pack, we see the battle for second and third place right here as B.J. Mackey rides in second. The third place battle is with Lyndon Amick. He looks in his rearview mirror, and there is Johnny Chapman right behind him. There is your second place runner, B.J. Mackey, the 11 car, 65, a lap down. That's Will Hobgood, the man that had led 86 laps before spinning in turn 4 in the oil laid down by a fellow competitor.
We also see the TCI Prime Star Ford of Danny Bagwell, who I had inadvertently said was a lap down a while ago. He is on the lead lap and challenging for one of the top 5 positions. David Hutto leads B.J. Mackey as the 2 Rock Hill, South Carolina high school students storm this track here in Florence, South Carolina. Hutto with the lead. Mackey trying to find a way around the 4-time winner.
B.J. Mackey has run strong several times this season, even though he has missed several events. He ran strong at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and expired an engine late in the race. Here tonight, he looks like he could possibly bring home the bacon. What is amazing is both of these drivers are out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, a small community just south of Charlotte. And these 2 drivers who've raced go-karts against each other, racing in the Goody's NASCAR Dash Series, as they go to the high side of Gary Moore. The race is winding down. Does B.J. Mackey have anything for young David Hutto?
Mackey certainly would love to put a victory on not only this competition, but he'd love to get one on David Hutto probably more than anybody else in the field. But he can take that home to the Dairy Queen, to the Burger King, and all around town, he can hold his head up just that much higher than David Hutto.
The Shell Fire and Ice Pontiac Sunfire up front. The Chevrolet Cavalier being driven by B.J. Mackey, picking up race sponsorship for tonight from Beaver Chiropractic Clinic and also ProCal Decals. Let's give a little credit to the folks who are providing financial support to keep these drivers chasing the checkered flag. Jimmy Howell tells them, gentlemen, it's 5 to go and this race will be over. Can B.J. Mackey close it down and capture his victory here, his first one of his career, or will it be Hutto picking up victory number 5 here in the 1995 racing season?
When they come by, it'll be now 4 to go. And I can tell you this, Bill, 3 teenagers from the Palmetto State are up front. One of these South Carolina runners is going to take it. David Hutto for now in front. Here comes Mackey right there towards the rear bumper. BJ's going to try one more time before this deal's over with.
He may be able to pull it off. He goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Had to work to the high side of Shane Jenkins there. They come up on Joe Kirby. Going to the first quarter, there's a gaggle of traffic in front of the leaders. They may impede the way of Hutto. Hutto goes to the high side of Gary Moore. Gary Moore stays low on the racetrack. They now come up on Bill Wilson. Wilson blocks the way. Ronnie Goodwin on the outside. Can B.J. Mackey swing over to the inside or make a run? Who threads the needle? Hutto does. Going into turn 1. Mackey brings the car to the bottom of the racetrack. Ronnie Goodwin has a handful of race car in car number 15.
Almost the end of the race here. The lap's winding down. We're down to about 2 or 3. The car's coming out of corner number 4. Hutto is the race leader, but B.J. Mackey watches as the white flag is displayed to the Shell Fire and Ice Pontiac. It's the Crew de Gras, the time to put it all on him.
B.J. Mackey, one final run down the back straightaway. Turns 3 and 4. Can he make it? They go by Doug Thompson. He draws up to within a half a car length. The checkered flag poised and ready with Jimmy Howell. They come to the stripe. Mackey will fall short. Hutto will win his 5th time in the 1995 racing season. This has been the year of transition from the old-timers, the seasoned veterans, to a brand new guard picking up victory in 1995. Congratulations to David Hutto. When we return, we'll be in Victory Lane.
Communications provided by Racing Radios, Diversified Electronics, the official communications company of NASCAR.
Florence Motor Speedway Husqvarna 100 has drawn to a conclusion. The checkered flag has fallen. The young driver that has claimed victory is David Hutto. Mike Swaim is down trackside with a winner for the 5th time this season.
What about tonight, Dave? You had some really good luck. You had some tough luck for it to begin with, but it ended up being good luck at the end.
Yeah, we had a few close calls out there, and the Shell Fire and Ice Pontiac ran really well all night long. Didn't have a problem. He got loose there at the end, but we was able to hold him off, and it just ran well.
Well, good. Will, you and Will are really having a real good battle. Will went down, got in the oil. How did you avoid it?
Well, I think there's a wreck down there, and my spotter, he told me before I got there, and I must have missed the oil. I didn't think I hit it. But the Shell Fire and Ice Pontiac ran really well all night long.
While Hutto won, a call has to go out to second place finisher B.J. Mackey. Lyndon Amick was third. Johnny Chapman was fourth. Danny Bagwell fifth. Huffman came in sixth. Seventh was Dave Stacy. Here now is the second place runner.
BJ, second place again tonight. What do you think?
Well, I tell you, this second place is loading up. We got to get on the bone, get on up there and win this one. I think it's coming. It's getting real close. John Page has got it running good, and we just need that little extra break.
Well, it'll come. You know, if you keep finishing up front, you'll get that win.
Yeah, we're going to keep on digging in it and keep on working hard, and hopefully it'll come soon.
The points race continues to be a heated battle. Lyndon Amick finishes third, moves from fourth to third in the points battle as we take a look at all top 5 points leaders at the present time. For Lyndon Amick was a hard run. He's with Mike Swain.
All right, Lyndon, after a wreck there early in the race, you able to come back to third place?
Yeah, it's pretty good. You know, I get interviewed twice, once when I got wrecked, and now back, you know, after the race. We had a good run, and, you know, I'm just glad that we could run up to the front. I didn't have a clutch at the end, so I couldn't shift, and I was having to wait for it to get in gear. And, you know, I believe I could have maybe done something with Hutto, but, you know, that's just one of the breaks, and hopefully, you know, next time I'll have all my equipment, I can run up front and stay up front.
Bill, the fans saw what NASCAR bull ring racing is all about. Tough, grinding action.
Wheel to wheel and hub to hub. That's what we saw this evening. For Lenny Baticki, Mike Swain, I'm Bill Hennessy. Remember, we'll see you at the races.